Those unmasked executioners are getting a lot of attention worldwide. And earlier this evening, I spoke to Kamran Bokhari. He's in Austin, Texas tonight. He's an author and a Middle East advisor for Stratfor. And I asked him his reaction to these new tactics by ISIS.
I felt that it was a bit odd, but then, IS is always trying to use psychological operations as a major tool, especially at a time when it's facing the onslaught of airstrikes and there's movement on the ground against it as well, though it still remains in nascent stages. But the bottom line is that IS has to tell its constituency as well as the opposing side that the airstrikes and the campaign and the coalition is not having an effect. The way to do that is to basically take off the mask, or at least one way to do that is to say, look, we're so confident of ourselves that, we don't even need to put on those masks anymore.
And so who are they directing that message to?
Two communities. One is their own support base because they're very, very reliant on associations and alliances with other groups. Mind you that IS itself, the core, is a very small group compared to the area that it's running or it's in control of. And that's only possible if they have the support of other forces or like-minded forces that are willing to work with them. Now, if those forces get a perception that IS is in trouble because of the airstrikes, especially with the news that Baghdadi was wounded, and other top leaders like the Chechen individual Abu Umar al-Shishani, and in fact there was a report that the man being described in the media as Jihadi John, the man who does those beheadings, was killed, then obviously that's going to send a message to their supporters that IS is in trouble, and they may withdraw that support. So it's designed to address that potential problem, to counter it, and of course to send a message to the other side, which is the United States and the coalition, that they're not deterred by airstrikes and they're alive and kicking.
But it's the other part of that message that keeps puzzling me. It has from the very first beheading video. It seems to me that every one of these is seen as a provocative act, each more provocative than the last, and it's just hardening the resolve of the West. In that regard, do you think ISIS continues to miscalculate the reaction that they get from these videos?
I'm not so sure that they're miscalculating. And the reason is because IS wants to bait the United States into coming onto the ground. That's where the IS feels that it can fight more effectively. So by beheading and by making more and more provocative moves, it's trying to bait the United States and the allies to send ground forces. Now, that's going to be difficult given that Washington is very determined not to put any boots on the ground. But that is what IS is hoping. And at some point, it may work or it may not work, but that's the goal here. And that's why I don't think it's necessarily a miscalculation.
Kamran Bokhari, always nice to get your analysis.
Pleasure.